Morning students. In the last class we solved few examples considering the sign convention, right? Today we'll start with the Ampere circuital law. In electrostatics, Gauss law is used to solve many of the complex problems. Similarly, in magnetostatics, there is a law which is used to solve many of the complex problems, and it is called as the Ampere's circuital law. Ampere's circuital law, or it is also called as Ampere's work law. Ampere's work law. This Ampere's circuital law states that according to the Ampere's circuital law, the closed surface integral of the magnetic field intensity with respect to the length is equal to the current enclosed by that path. So what is the statement here? The closed surface integral of the magnetic field intensity with respect to the length is equal to current enclosed by that path, or the current carried by that closed path. So this is the statement of the Ampere's circuital law. That is, the line integral of magnetic field intensity H bar around a closed path is exactly equal to direct current enclosed by that path. Okay, and this is the mathematical representation of the Ampere's circuital law. Right. Next we will see the proof of Ampere's circuital law. In order to find the proof of the Ampere's circuital law, let us consider the figure here. So according to this figure, right, so this is the figure here of the current carrying conductor. This is the current carrying conductor, and surrounding the current carrying conductor, this is our x-axis. Here we have y, and this is our z-axis. So surrounding this, suppose if I consider the current carrying conductor along z-axis, where it is carrying the current I, surrounding this current carrying conductor there will be concentric flux lines, is it not? Concentric or circular flux lines. So suppose if this is the path, symmetrical path, or the path of the flux lines, fine, this is the path of the flux lines, concentric flux lines. Let us consider the point P at which we are finding the magnetic field intensity. Point P, point of interest. This is our point of interest here, right? Now here we are considering an elemental length dl, elemental length dl, and this elemental length dl is in the a phi bar direction, or in the a phi direction. Here we are considering the cylindrical system, right? So in the cylindrical system, what all coordinates we have? We have r, phi, and z. Okay, so the r is the radius of the cylindrical system. So this is our r. So from the origin to the elementary length, we have the radius r. This is the radius r. The angle phi, so this will be the tangential this will be tangential to the path here, closed path. So similarly, this a phi bar moves tangentially throughout the path. This a phi bar moves tangentially, or it is tangential to the closed path here, right, like this. It is tangential. Fine. Now what will be dl bar? Dl bar will be equal to, suppose if I want this dl bar, this elementary length, right? So this is how I am drawing the radius here, which is connecting the another end of dl, right? This is angle phi. Okay, angle phi. So I have dl is equal to r into d phi, small angle. So this is making a small angle, r d phi a phi bar, r d phi a phi bar. This concept of finding the elementary length we have studied in our previous modules, right? So this length dl is given by the multiplication of the radius and the small angle that it is inclining, that is d phi then its unit vector is a phi bar, right? dl bar is along the a phi bar direction. Let us take it as equation 1. H bar at point P is obtained using the Biot-Savart law. H bar at point P is obtained using Biot-Savart law. According to the Biot-Savart law, H bar at point P is due to the infinitely long conductor along the z-axis. H bar at point P is due to the current carrying conductor, infinitely long current carrying conductor. Okay, so H bar will be equal to I divided by 2 pi r a phi bar. How I got this equation? This equation is the equation for the magnetic field intensity at the point P due to the infinitely long current carrying conductor. So I have taken the equation from there. It is equation 2. Next I will take the dot product of H bar and dl bar. Therefore H bar dot dl bar will be equal to I divided by 2 pi r a phi bar dot of dl bar is r d phi a phi bar. So a phi bar dot a phi bar, dot a phi bar is 1. So the equation reduces to I divided by 2 pi r d phi. I divided by 2 pi r d phi. R and R will cancel. So we get this will be equal to I divided by 2 pi d phi. Fine. We got the H bar dot dl bar. Now if I want the magnetic field intensity throughout the length, then I have to integrate this. I have to integrate this over the limits 0 to 2 pi. The total angle, it is 0 to 2 pi. So I have to integrate it. So what I am doing here is I am integrating. Okay. I am integrating whatever the previous equation we got, that is integration H bar dot dl bar, that is equal to what equation we have got, I divided by 2 pi d phi over the limits phi equal to 0 to 2 pi. So that will be equal to I divided by 2 pi angle phi, right? So integral of d phi is phi over the limits 0 to 2 pi. I hope you all are following, students, here. Yes. So this will be I divided by 2 pi. So this will be 2 pi minus 0. So this will be I divided by 2 pi into 2 pi. 2 pi and 2 pi will cancel. So you get only I. So what it indicates? The closed surface integral of the magnetic field intensity with respect to the length is equal to the current I enclosed by that path. This is the one of the important derivations for the Ampere's circuital law, right? So this they are asking in the examination. Many times it has been repeated, several times it has been repeated in the examination. One of the important points to be noted here is that the current I, this equation, this Ampere's circuital law equation, is not restricted only for circular shape. It need not be a circular shape only. It can be any irregular shape, but it should be closed path, right? It should enclose the current. It should be a closed path current, right? Then the Ampere's circuital law definitely will hold good for that particular path. Fine. So this is how we have found out the equation. We have done the proof of Ampere's circuital law. Next we will see few of the applications of Ampere's circuital law. Applications of Ampere's circuital law. The first application of the Ampere's circuital law is H bar due to infinitely long straight conductor, due to infinitely long straight conductor. H bar due to infinitely long straight conductor. So first application of Ampere's circuit law, that it can be applied to infinitely long straight conductor to find the magnetic field intensity. Consider again the infinitely long straight conductor along z axis, right? Then we have x axis, then we have y axis, x, y and z. Surrounding this conductor there is a closed path of the magnetic flux lines. This is our origin. The radius is r, r is the radius. Okay, the elemental length is along a5 bar direction. It is a5 bar direction tangential to the closed path. This we have seen, right, previously also, that the magnetic field intensity due to the infinitely long straight conductor will be tangential to the closed path. So this is our elemental length dl bar. This is our point of interest P, and the current carried by the conductor is I, right? So with these assumptions, next here the magnetic field intensity H bar, it is only along the a5 bar direction, right? The magnitude of H bar depends on R, and the direction is always tangential to the closed path, that is a5 bar, right? What is the point here? Magnitude of H bar depends only on R, and the direction is always tangential to the closed path, that is a5 bar. Okay, so here H bar we have only component is H5 because it is tangential to the closed path. Okay, so H bar is given by H5 a5 bar. And what is DL bar? DL bar is R d5 a5 bar. Last derivation only we have done it. So DL bar length is nothing but R, the radius R, multiplied by the angle inclined by small angle d5 along the a5 bar direction. Okay, so what we have done here, first we got the equation for H bar, right? H bar is along the tangential component, that is a5 bar, right? I hope you are getting the point, students, here. Yes, so it is along the tangential component, so that means what? H bar is equal to H5 a5 bar. Okay, it exists only along the tangential component. Next, DL bar is the radius multiplied by the small angle into a5 bar. Then we will take the dot product again, as per our Ampere's circuit law, as it states that H bar dot closed surface integral of H bar dot dl bar is equal to I. So let us take the dot product, H bar dot dl bar. So H bar dot dl bar, what equation we have got for H bar? H5 a5 bar dot dl bar. DL bar is R d5 a5 bar. This will be a5 bar dot a5 bar is 1, so this will be H5 R d5. According to the Ampere's circuit law, closed surface integral of H bar dot dl bar is equal to I. Therefore, phi is equal to 0 to 2 pi, over the limits phi is equal to 0 to 2 pi, the closed path limit phi is equal to 0 to 2 pi, H5 R d phi, that is equal to I, because H bar dot dl bar is H5 R d phi, so substitute that, H5 R d phi is equal to I, over the limits phi is equal to 0 to 2 pi integral. That is what we have here. So here, that is H5 R is constant, take it outside, so the integral of d phi is phi over the limits 0 to 2 pi, that is equal to I. That is H5 R 2 pi minus 0 is equal to I, or H5 R 2 pi is equal to I. Therefore H5 is equal to I divided by 2 pi R. Hence H bar at point P is given by H bar at point P or point of interest is given by H bar is equal to, what is the equation for H bar? H5 A5 bar, because it exists along the tangential direction. So H5 we have calculated I divided by 2 pi R A5 bar ampere per meter. What is the unit of magnetic field intensity? Ampere per meter. So H bar, due to infinitely long straight conductor, by applying the Ampere circuital law, we have got that H bar is equal to I divided by 2 pi R A5 bar ampere per meter. This is by using the Ampere circuital law. Okay, so students, we have covered the topics today. That is, we have started with the Ampere circuital law, then proof of Ampere circuital law. First we have started with the Ampere circuital law. Here you can see here Ampere circuital law. Then we have taken up the proof of Ampere circuital law. Fine. Then after the proof of Ampere circuital law, then we took up the applications of Ampere circuital law. The first application, that is H bar due to infinitely long straight conductor, and we have derived the equation using the Ampere circuital law, that H bar is equal to I divided by 2 pi R A5 bar ampere per meter. Fine students. So if there are any doubts or queries, please send your doubts to me so that I will answer to your doubts. Thank you.